All right, let's just dive right into this explainer and discover exactly why prompt engineering is basically the new coding of the 21st century. Seriously, if you're still just casually chatting with AI, it is time to upgrade. Today, we're going to transform you into a strategic prompt engineer. I absolutely love this quote by Harshvardhan Purohit. It sets the perfect stage for our journey today because let's face it, the era of just typing a random question into a chat box and crossing your fingers, yeah, that's completely over. We are moving from being passive consumers of AI to active directors of its output. Here is the roadmap for this explainer. First, welcome to prompt engineering. 2, top quality prompting frameworks. 3, mastering context engineering. 4, advanced agentic workflows. And 5, the golden rules. Okay, let's kick things off with section 1, welcome to prompt engineering. So here's the crucial thing you need to grasp right away. A prompt is not just a question. Think of it more like a steering wheel. It dictates the quality, the tone, and the accuracy of the AI's entire output. Every single word, every piece of code, every shred of context you provide, it's all steering that machine. Now, why does this actually matter? Well, mastering this skill isn't just some cool party trick. Precise prompting literally saves you hard cash on tokens and computing costs. It also stops those frustrating AI hallucinations right in their tracks. It essentially turns a chaotic text generator into a highly reliable business tool that anyone can wield, even without a technical background. Moving right along, section 2, top quality prompting frameworks. Check out this before and after contrast. On the left, we have a vague, raw request, like write a persuasive email. With that, the AI is basically just guessing your tone, who you're emailing, and what you're selling. But look at the right side. Using the trace framework, you structure the exact task, the role the AI needs to play, the audience, the context, and you even provide examples. The difference in the output quality, it's just staggering. And this gives you a great cheat sheet for when to deploy which tool, because you definitely don't need a sledgehammer to drive in a nail. Trace is your universal baseline, but you'd use Crisp for highly complex professional tasks. You'd switch over to Coast when you're focusing heavily on content creation, like a LinkedIn post, where audience and style are everything. And you leverage Ryzen when you need step-by-step procedural research and analysis. Let's level up. Section 3, mastering context engineering. To put context into perspective, think of an AI's context window as its short-term memory. We're now seeing models capable of holding a massive 1 million tokens at once. To visualize that, it's literally like handing the AI a stack of thick books to read and memorize before you even ask your first question. So how does this work in a modern automated setup? Enter RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. Instead of dumping a massive 200-page manual into the chat, the system dynamically searches for just the relevant paragraphs. It then injects those paragraphs directly into the AI's memory at the exact moment you ask your question. This grounds the AI, meaning it gives you incredibly accurate answers based purely on your specific data, not just its general internet training. Now, you can also manage this memory manually. If you're dealing with massive documents, you can use chunking and summarization to feed the AI bite-sized chapter summaries rather than a wall of raw text. Or you can use a sliding window approach, keeping only the most recent conversation history active. That prevents token overflow while keeping the AI laser-focused on the task at hand. All right, on to the really cutting-edge stuff. Section 4, advanced agentic workflows. Imagine you're hunting for the top AI startups of the year. Instead of a simple prompt, you can use the REACT loop. That stands for reasoning plus acting. The AI actually has a thought about how to find this data. Then it takes an action, like actually browsing the web. It makes an observation based on those search results, filters them down, and only then does it formulate a final answer. It's a completely transparent, traceable chain of logic. And for bigger, more complex generative tasks, let's say building out a whole 4-week content calendar, the AI uses this plan, act, observe, reflect loop. It plans the weeks out, executes the first batch of posts, observes its own output to make sure it matched your brand voice, and reflects on any necessary changes before moving on to the next week. It's basically built-in quality control. But wait, what if one agent just isn't enough? You can actually orchestrate multiple agents at once. Think of it like assembling a virtual boardroom. You give a prompt to a master orchestrator AI. That orchestrator assigns tasks to an AI researcher to go find historical data, an AI analyst to spot the patterns, an AI writer to draft a compelling narrative, and finally, a brutally honest AI critic to review the whole thing for errors. It's mind-blowing. Which brings us to our final act, Section 5, the golden rules. Okay, here are your absolute non-negotiables, the key do's. You absolutely must assign a specific role to your AI before you ask it to do anything. Clearly define exactly who the audience is, explicitly state the output format, like tell it if you want a markdown table or a JSON file, and most importantly, give it concrete few-shot examples. Every single word you type matters. On the flip side, here are the don'ts. The biggest mistake? Assuming the AI already knows your context. If you don't explicitly tell it, it's gonna guess, and trust me, it usually guesses wrong. Also, you have to heavily utilize negative constraints. Tell the AI exactly what not to do. Explicitly filter out cliches, corporate jargon, or those weird emojis to keep your content on brand. And honestly, never expect the very first prompt to be perfect. You have to keep iterating. And as you start building more advanced workflows, you've got to start treating your prompts exactly like software. Before you deploy a prompt into a live business environment, evaluate it. Red team it by intentionally trying to break it. Test it for failure modes, check the tone consistency, and make absolutely sure it complies with your safety guidelines. So there you have it. We've gone from the foundational definitions to high-powered frameworks like Trace and Crispy, dove deep into context engineering, and mapped out cutting-edge agentic workflows. The question now is, are you just going to keep asking generic questions, or are you ready to use these cheat codes to engineer context, command these models, and actually shape the future? The keyboard is yours. What are you going to engineer today?